let's get this Trump stuff out of the way before we get onto the genuine criminal, Hunter Biden.
Oh, yeah.
The Kaiser Sose.
Exactly. Exactly. It's funny. One, there's two. We got more clips of Bret Baier. The first is what everybody is saying is going to be the second one. Let's play that second. The second one is what everybody's saying should be the ad that the Democrats run in the general election, assuming Trump is the candidate. I don't know if I buy that, but it's pretty funny. But here is Bret Baier asking, how are you going to win back the independent suburban woman voter? And maybe really Republican woman voter. Here is Bret Baier.
What do you say to that female independent suburban voter who feels that way, to win her back?
First of all, I won in 2020 by a lot, okay? Let's get that straight. I won in 2020.
You know that
and if you look at all of the tapes, if you look at everything that you want to look at, you take a look at Truth to Vote, where they have people stuffing the ballot boxes on tapes, or let's go to recent. Well, wait a minute. Let's go to recent. FBI Twitter. Let's go to recent. The 51 agents, all corrupt stuff, Brett.
Understand about the Hunter Biden,
no, but
all
that's cheating
fair
on the
things.
election. But that's cheating on the election.
You lost the 2020 election.
Brett, you take a look at all of the stuff ballots. You take a look at all of the things, including things like the 51 intelligence agents.
There were recounts in all of the swing states. There was not significant widespread
We're trying to get recounts, real recounts, not just numbers of votes
widespread
cast.
corruption. There was not a sense of that. There were lawsuits, more than 50 of them, by your lawyers, some in front of judges that you appointed.
Look at Wisconsin.
That came out with no evidence.
Wisconsin has practically admitted it was rigged. Other states are doing the same right now, and it's continuing.
There have been reviews of every
election.
potential case of voter fraud in 6 battleground states, and they found fewer than 475 cases.
You know why? Because they didn't look at the right things.
Okay,
Brett.
are you going
They
to
were
be
counting. They were counting ballots, not the authenticity of the ballot. The ballots were fake ballots. You had this was a very rigged election.
Are you going to go? This is how you're going to tell that independent suburban woman voter?
No, we're off to winning an election, and I think we're winning very well. I got a poll just recently. I have it here.
I know, and I watched the numbers.
We're winning very well.
But what's amazing about this is that I don't think it's going to change. Like, I don't think that changes anything. I mean, it's porn essentially for people who are going to vote against Trump.
Do we really think he's not going to? I think he's going to do fine with particularly white suburban women of a certain class. Like, I think, they'll be there for me again, like they were last time.
I think to the extent that there's going to be, I think that he's going to have problem with independent women in that way. It's going to be a function of Dobbs. I mean, that is to the extent that there's going to be, it has nothing to do with Donald Trump. I think left on their own devices, the people who voted for Trump last time would vote for him again for the most part. I think the real issue is going to be Dobbs. That's the
turnout game is are people going to turn out for Trump with all of this baggage in the same way that women in particular are going to turn out to vote against abortion restrictions? That's, I think, the number one question. He's now changed his tune, I guess. It used to be that ballots were disappearing or getting ripped up, and now the ballots in and of themselves are fake. Although maybe it was always a blend of the two. I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is we should have disenfranchised more people before the election, which I think is what he's hinting at now.
I will say this. I mean, I think what's interesting about that is it's very easy to believe that people who are already inclined to believe that the election was stolen to watch that exchange and walk away going like, that's interesting. Maybe they didn't check the authenticity of the votes.
I mean, this is what he was like with Obama, with the birth certificate. No matter what factual information was presented, he always had an answer for why it was forged or fake or made up.
This is also, I think, instructive in terms of like how difficult it is to argue with a conspiracy theorist. I mean, the reason why to us it sounds like, and people, watching this broadly speaking, it sounds like, Trump got the worst end of this is because a nominal ally in the past, Fox News, had turned on him. And so it's really not the quality of the conversation. It's almost like the quantity. Like one player switched to the other team, and therefore it diminishes him. And when you get into a situation where the teams are not as clearly divided, and it's not clear, who and where to argue. And I'm thinking about all the anti-vax stuff, because just like Trump could say, look, they never checked the authenticity of the ballots. And like on its face, it's sort of like, well, did they? Mm-hmm. And then you start to think like, wait, what does that mean? Check the authenticity. Like, what are you suggesting, that there were millions of people casting fake ballots, or that the ballots were changed? Or it is once you dig deeper, but we all understand the voting process. Like, we know it's not you don't need to have a PhD to understand how the voting process works. Maybe the tabulations, you need to know something about computer science. But when you talk about something like vaccines, and you talk about the way that tests are done, and in the way medicine is developed, et cetera, very easy to make it sound like your argument is legitimate when it's not. And ignorant ears, and I mean that in the sense that most of us are ignorant about what makes up a vaccination or a vaccination trial, or Wi-Fi signals and how it affects the brain and research and stuff like that. We're all more or less ignorant because we're not doctors. It's very easy, I think, for people to be swayed by this stuff. It's sophistry. I mean, the Greeks saw it, right? Like, it's just what's persuasive in the moment. And it's really sad that we have this simulated idea that we need debate this stuff on media platforms, as opposed to actually doing work of interrogating science and doing studies and stuff like that.
Well, we're kind of talking around the RFK element of this, but that is what we're hinting at here, I would say, is just
no, I didn't even mean to hint at it.
No.
We'll get to that clip in a minute.
We will, but it's important to see the anti-vax conspiracy push in the same kind of lane as that of the ballots harvesting or stuffing that Trump's speaking about here, because there's an entire millions of people in this country primed to think of things in that way, totally. and seeing and internalizing this incredible skepticism for any kind of expertise or academic rigor, and in fact reflexively pushing back against it, and media outlets are aiding and abetting it. And the only reason Fox is covering their ass right now is because they just got sued for hundreds of millions of dollars for peddling the conspiracy theories that Trump wanted.